In December of 1773, a group of American colonists decided that they had enough. The British crown was taxing them without representation. A few pennies on tea. That's it, a few pennies. They didn't write a strongly worded letter. Hell no. They didn't start a petition. Hell no. And they certainly did not wait for the next election. Hell no. They threw on some war paint, loaded up 3 ships, and dumped 300 chests of tea in a Boston harbor. Boston harbor. That's over $2 million in today's money. Fiat blood money. They chose rebellion over robbery, yeah. The federal government seizes $7 trillion from us every single year. Every single year. Trillions vanish into endless foreign wars that never end. Millions vanish into black hole bureaucracies and corporate welfare. Trillions disappear into waste, fraud, and corruption that nobody's ever held accountable for. Somebody must pay. We've been locked away for less. Hey. But if we refuse to hand over our hard-earned money, they send armed agents. They freeze your bank accounts. They take your house. They throw you in a cage. This is not taxation. It's robbery on a scale that history has never seen before. This is the largest criminal enterprise on planet Earth, and it hides behind flags, marble buildings, and calls itself the government. It's a huge problem when the vote of 1 billionaire cancels out the votes of 20 million Americans. Let that sink in. What have we done about it? Absolutely nothing. We complain to each other on the internet. We say there's nothing we can do when we vote for the same thieves in new suits. Every goddamn time. We have become the weakest, most cowardly generation in American history. The men who froze the Valley Forge, who crossed the Delaware in the dead of winter, who stared down the most powerful empire on earth, they are screaming from their graves right now. They are beside themselves that were bending the knee again. Tyrants who are taking 10,000 times more than King George ever dreamed of. They would spit on us, and so they should. I'm done watching my children's future get stolen. I'm done pretending that this is normal. I'm done being a good little slave who says thank you while they pick my pockets clean. This ends when we say it ends, with unbreakable resolve, with millions of voices roaring in unison. No more, no more, no more. We are the descendants of the revolutionaries. The blood still runs in our veins. It's time to show them who we really are as American patriots. It's time to put our foot down before we don't have a country left to save. If we don't do something now, there will be nothing left to save America. Wake the fuck up! Amen. Amen.
Who knew that Professor Zhang was such an unbelievable singer? The falsetto, the high notes, he has like this kind of full/head voice, chest meets it's a secundo passaggio. It's just unbelievable. What a singer. AI is going to be wild. AI is just getting started too. It's just getting started. It's amazing what you can already do. And in like 6 months, everyone's going to be able to do that. Everyone, right? That took a bunch of, a little bit of know-how, right? But in 6 months, you won't even need to know any of that. Just like, what do I want to see? What do I want to do? And that's what you're going to do. Seemed to pump the price a bit. We went up a couple $100. I know that's not a big deal in these slow-moving markets, but it's still something. Now, the question I have to you, I pose, is do we adjust this bull flag to encompass this play out? You can see we tried to throw some price action above our channel of ascension's support, now acting as resistance. That always screws up my head when I'm trying to enunciate that one. which we have back here too. We haven't been able to really dominate this channel of ascension. In fact, it's acted as resistance. How far did we go back here? Oh, okay. So once we got into it, we kind of tried to get back out and then got denied and been hanging out at the smoking doors of this channel of ascension for, what seems like 1,000 years. And here we are coming up against it again. Now, take a look at those peepers, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look at these peepers. This might seem like nothing on this 4-hour chart because the 4-hour chart is a nothing chart. It's noisy old so-and-so. But if we go to the weekly chart, look at how close this is. Now, I know there's not many people around anymore, but if you've been around in this past couple months of the volumatic doldrums, you can see I've been going ad nauseum about this 38.2% fib at 98.1. We hit 97.9. Let's call it 98. So we're $100 off this pivotal, arguably in my mind, as far as my plan goes, the most important level to close this weekly candle at. Now, what I want to see is a sell-off into the weekend. And yeah, that's right, E-Money, the bull market rejection zone right here. Look at it. Look at it. Let's make it even bigger. Just make a huge example of this. Look at that. $100. As far as I'm concerned, if we see like a sell-off into the weekend and we go back into this channel, I will consider it a rejection. And that to me is a very conclusive signal that we always do. We did this in 2021. We did this in 2017. Tried to get to the 38.2% fib after our first rejection from our all-time high and got denied. And then then it really sinks in. It's like if you get in trouble as a kid and your mom says you're going to be grounded for 2 weeks. You're like, okay, Mom. All right. Well, we'll see when Dad gets home. This is Dad coming home and saying, well, you did what? Not only are you going to be grounded for 2 weeks, your ColecoVision's gone. And the Intellivision that you have hiding in your closet, that's gone too. And that's what we'll see. So let's hope. Let's hope. It's pretty pivotal. But, if we actually zoom out, look how we're candle closing this arbitrary doodle, which would now, this also makes a lot of sense when we zoom back out, that to build out this arbitrary doodle, Scotty Mo, it would just be building out the mother of all head and shoulders patterns, right? Now I forget where this head and shoulder pattern, 56K-ish. Ouch. Now, this isn't a normal functioning market. This is assuming a bunch of things. It's assuming that this myth and ethos of the 4-year cycle is still intact. And that's a big deal because as far as we know in our data points, because we're so early, a lot of people call Bitcoin a teenager now. It's not. It's not a teenager. It's like it's about to go into kindergarten. Right? It can talk, doesn't piss or shit his pants anymore. It has a lot of needs and it whines, right? That's all Bitcoin is. It's not a teenager. It isn't getting hair under its armpits, right? It's still just going into kindergarten. So our data points are just it's like trying to figure out what the personality is going to be like at 5. It's like, well, it did this for the past 5 years, so it's going to do this for the next 5 years. Now, the signals that will eradicate the 4-year cycle will just be hitting a new all-time high in 2026 if we can do that. If we can hit a new all-time high in 126, then I will officially say that the 4-year cycle as we know it is over. As we know it. Now, if we don't do that, albeit the information is a little bit muted, as in, the all-time high wasn't a blow-off top, but it still was an all-time high. We'd have to go get kind of legalese on this. Well, was it an all-time high? Yes. Was it the all-time high we wanted? No. It's still an all-time high, right? It's still an all-time high. Lobster, even though it probably doesn't matter, hit that like button. Yeah, the only thing that matters is sharing the video, Lobster. Like, so I was just watching this thing on James Lee, because I've always been saying YouTube's a pay-to-play. So you get these big channels that grow, and then they start paying for placements and ads, right? And then so the latest thing is that, what's Ben Shapiro's channel? The Daily Wire. You can tell when someone's buying ads because they have hundreds of thousands of views, but just like a couple hundred likes, right? So it's being viewed as an ad, it's called pre-roll, or no, not pre-roll. Like during this, I don't know if it happens in this, because I forget to turn on the monetization for these all the time, just because it doesn't matter. It's like 50 cents, $1. Like, I don't care. But if I were to buy ads, it would show up, like you'd be watching some other video and it would show up, and you have to watch it, right? You're sitting there waiting to click off it or whatever. That it gets logged as a view or a dwell, if it were. And that's why these massive channels will have like hundreds of thousands of views, but only a couple hundred likes. It's a pay to play, right? So the only way to get over the pay to play is to share the video. And I know my demographic in this channel is older, so we don't share. It's like Gen Xers. It takes a lot to share a video. Even if you like it, even if you get value out of it, you're like, and then share it, you're like, no thanks. Whereas like my son Duke, 10, it's like the first thing he does. He doesn't even have to like the thing. He just clicks on a video, and like he's just like, okay, I'm here. Like, subscribe, notification bell. Okay, click, and then he watches it. It's like the first thing he does, and I'm watching in utter disgust. It's like, you don't even know if you like this video. Who are you sharing it to? And it's under my account too. So now it looks like I'm sharing Kalis. Every now and then I have to go in there and desubscribe from all of the, because every video Duke will watch, he'll subscribe. It's just knee jerk, right? It's like, I'm watching it, I'm going to like it, and I'm going to subscribe to it. And I'm going to hit the notification bell. Yeah, see, this is what happens when you're this age, Jape. Jape says, true, if I share your video, most of my friends would just say, yeah, I'm not watching that. I hear you. I hear you. Most of the people I talk to say, yeah, I'm not listening to that when I'm talking. For their own good, though. For their own good. I was also thinking this morning, Johnny Semper, morning, guys. Stoked to finally Bitcoin Morning TA live again. Have you been fishing in the Belizean Sea early mornings? I was thinking what this reminds me of, and what a lot of people aren't putting their finger on. So you know how we refer to these whales as like these OGs, they got in so early, they're so lucky, et cetera, right? They were getting in under the same blanket of malaise as we are now. So what I mean by that is that there was no YouTube channels paying to play, pumping out information in 2011 through 14. There might have been a couple, but no one gave a shit about Bitcoin. But they were still buying. They what they knew wasn't hindering what they were receiving as a signal, so to speak. They weren't like, wow, fuck, nobody's really talking about this Bitcoin. Maybe I should not buy it. Maybe I should sell it, right? This is what we're in right now. We have all the most unbelievable fundamentals coming at us, yet the sentiment it's almost like, I always go back to the COVID. It's like they did something to humanity where they can actually like dial in certain moods and desires and actions. It's like, I feel like they've dialed in an extreme bearish sentiment to otherwise incredibly bullish people. They're like trying to get in, like it's almost like they're throwing a frequency at people that are making them a completely different state of mind. Now, can they do that? Yeah, probably they can. You know, we live 20 years below technology, right? So the technology we get is like, this is how my mind works. When they come up with new technology, they say, okay, well, when can we release this? This will make this unremarkable retard that we'll put in charge millions and billions of dollars. But first, we need to have its antidote. We need to know how to control it before we give it away. And then when they come up with like even the layer 2, you know, well, we'll give them layer 1 because layer 2 can just shut down layer 1 if we need to. So they don't let it out until they have a fail safe for what they're doing. How did I get on talking about this? This is Johnny December's fault for throwing me off for coming back to the morning streams. So I'm going to leave this bull flag as is. Even though you could do this. You could do that. You could do this. You really could just do that. You know, it's a longer bull flag, makes more sense, has a little more stability. If we were to do this, not say I'm not going to do it. If we were to do it, we would have to change the breakout point to well, we'd have to even increase it, I would say. Yeah, we'd have to slightly, no, it's roughly the same. But the breakout point's different. I would put it above this channel of ascension at 103. Let's put her in. We're here, you know. It's like, I'm not going to go to the beach and not get a Bahama Mama, right? 103. Just to see. It'll be a joyous time in the Bitcoinosphere if we end up getting to 103. Will normies care? No. We are now in a pocket of apathy, which is really when we look out into the next 4 years, this is the pocket you want to pay attention to. When it's incredibly bearish and boring, this is where you want to be. This is where you want to be DCAing when no one gives a shit. And it's so much easier to wait for the price to pump and then get in. It's a weird psychology, isn't it? Like the price is going up. I hear this all the time, you know, from people I know very well. They say, yeah, I'm going to buy some more Bitcoin. You know, I'm going to wait for the price to go up. I'm just like, what? It's almost like this. I have a Mac Studio Pro. This is what runs all this bullshit. Do I need a new one? Yeah, it's an M1. It's 4 years old or something. That's old in Mac world. 4-year-old computer? What are you, some sort of caveman? But I would buy one. But I'm waiting for the price to go up before I buy it. I really, you know, I do need one. It's basically going to secure my future to have a new Mac Studio. But I think I'm going to wait for the price to go up. Yeah, I'm going to wait for the price to go up before I buy it. Why would I want to buy it low? Is it the same machine if the price is down and the price is up? Yeah. But I'm going to wait till the price go up. I want the price to spike before I buy it. You see how silly that actually sounds? It's incredibly silly. But that's just human psychology, right? And when historically, there's never really been a better time than when the bulls leave the arena, the bears start filling it up. You can smell the stank of the bears. Oh my God, they stink. And it's boring, and there's sentiment is down. Now, the thing about the Clarity Act, I just put that, I don't really care about the Clarity Act. They're going to screw it up. It's like the weed industry in Canada. As soon as the government got involved, it's like, this is going to shit. They're going to ruin everything. They're the worst capital allocators. They get everything wrong. they're not businessmen. They're all unremarkable retards pretending we're going to protect business. You don't know anything. Your best case scenario is that you were a lawyer, right? And probably not even in the private sector. You're probably a lawyer right into the government. So you don't know anything about anything. And you're going to make these rules. So the only rules they're going to make are going to benefit their pocket, right? So the fact that they denied it, it's just they got caught. You know, they were like, here it is, guys. I think you'll probably like what you're going to see. I wouldn't read it. I mean, it's there. Trust us. We're the government. It's 278 pages of complete crypto bliss. I said don't read it. Is it beneficial to the banks? Well, yeah. We can't forget the banks, right? Is it beneficial to the little guy, the innovation, No. We need innovators to have hurdles. We can't make it easy for innovators. We got to make it easy for the banks first off, right? Because then they make it easy on us. Yeah. They make it easy on us. So that's all. They just got caught, with a little bit of legalese. What does this mean? That no one in the crypto industry can stake or make rewards, but the banks can. I don't get that. That seems weird. This is what we're doing. Why would you take that away and just give it to the banks? It's funny. Like, these banks aren't going to go down without a fight. If they even do go down. Yes, e-money, isn't it crypto mass surveillance? Yeah, it looks like it's getting that way. That's one of my greatest fears, is that this has all been a honeypot for mass surveillance. I think we talked about this on Monday. Everything about Bitcoin, can describe a CBDC, if we really are honest with ourselves, right? Immutable ledger. Complete transparency. Because I think about that more now than ever, right? But imagine if we just were the useful idiots building out the industry for the rent-seeking reptilian parasitic class. Let these stupid idiots build it out. Yeah, but hey, listen. Not only are they going to do all the work, you're going to see people sacrificing their time, just trying to teach other people how to use it. Yeah. It's not like, you don't think there's going to be like YouTube channels that are just based on building out this? Yeah. All these stupid idiots are going to be making YouTube channels trying to share our technology. See, I wish the Name Clarity Act was something different, because we all know that it's the inverse mirror world, right? The Clarity Act will probably bring in less clarity than ever, right? The Genius Act. The playbook is so old because the boomers are still in charge, right? And the boomers are losing their minds really slowly. They're not, it's just too, it's kind of like when like doing the time on your VCR. Remember your VCR, VCL? Lasers, treehouse pancakes. Remember your VCR? When the power would go out, it would blink 12 o'clock. And if you didn't, you being, the kid, the teenager, if you didn't change it, it's not like your parents were going to, right? Let alone your grandma or grandpa, right? So now your parents are all grandma and grandpas, and the light's flashing 12, right? And they're like, can I just unplug the whole thing? Like, I don't know how to change the time. So how about this? We just throw it in the garbage. Like, I'd rather just throw it in the garbage than I cannot change the time. So this is what we're dealing with, right? But it becomes more telegraphed. It becomes like the same playbook they used in the 60s and 70s and 80s and maybe 90s, or they're just still using it. But people are smarter. They've adapted, and a lot of people have woken up, right? That was the big thing. When you have just a sea of Gen Pop asleep at the wheel zombies, right? You can do anything. You just tell your one anchorman to read this one thing, and then everyone will be slowly start head nodding. I see. I told you. That's the truth. Now, people are waking up, so it's very hard to get past. Now, like I said, it's still the Pareto, 80% unremarkable retards. You know, is that number coming down? I don't know. That's right, the Patriot Act, Matt Graham's, yeah. And the funny thing is that they like to use the name as a weapon too. You know, like Patriot Act. Well, you're not a patriot? You don't want the Patriot Act? I guess, okay, no, I get it. You're not a patriot, right? Only people who aren't patriots would speak against the Patriot Act. That was arguably like the first time they got any pushback. Because 9/11 woke up a lot of people, right? It woke me up. It took years. Like, it didn't wake me up like that. It wasn't like an alarm. Bing, what the hell's going on here? It took me years to wake up. Actually, to tell you the truth, I don't know if I ever learned how to do the time. Even my coffee maker, I'm always like guessing how to, like, is it a long hold? Is it a double pause? And I always forget because it only happens like every 4 months. And I got to relearn this shit, right? But at the end of the day, I can still do it. Nothing more permanent than emergency powers, E-money. Oh, that's right. There's nothing more permanent than a temporary government program. Is that what Ronald Reagan? pianomattyb, at least you're not living in Minnesota. Well, here's the thing, storm chasing video. How different is Minnesota from, like, we're right above Minnesota. We're a 7-hour drive from Winnipeg to Minneapolis. 7 hours, I think. Now, instead of the problem they have we have a different problem here. I'm going to keep it a little PG-13 here. I'm getting DMs in my Instagram. I can't believe you said that. They're riding here. Oh, storm chasing video. I forgot you were from. Are you in Minneapolis? They're rioting here. Yeah. So the 80% unremarkable retards. It's a strong game. And for some reason, St. Cloud, when I look at my Plato's wall on X, I almost think it's a form of aversion therapy. You know, like I'm being showed all these videos of retards, and I'm like, it's either galvanizing me, or like if it's an attempt to sway me, it's not working. It's only galvanizing my own resolve when I see endless retards talking about shit. It's like, listen, at the end of the day, all politicians are want you dead and want your money, right? There are no good ones. Don't get me wrong. Not like I'm cis boom buying anyone. Some are slightly better, but at the end of the day, I mean, they're all just Israeli puppets anyway. If we're going to call a spade here, especially in U.S. government. I was going to keep it PG-13. But so there's all you can do is fortify your own fortress, right? And you can only do that with Bitcoin for now, right? Now, the way that this is how they get rid of Bitcoin. And you can see how it got pushed back in UK, the digital ID. But to me, the digital ID is 100x worse than COVID ever was. Because it'll lock you out of the internet. You know, because a lot of people say, so the argument is, well, what if the internet goes down? How are you going to, your precious Bitcoin, how are you going to get it? Right. And then the rebuttal is, well, we have worse problems if the internet's down, right, than your Bitcoin. It's basically a societal collapse without the internet. But those rent-seeking reptilian parasitic class, they said to themselves, well, how do we keep the internet up, but just limit people's access to it? Oh, that makes a lot of sense. I like that idea. How about if you had to, like, you know how you have to have a password to sign into your computer? What if you needed a password to sign into the internet? Oh my God. Hallelujah. Right? And so you could see your Bitcoin would be a prisoner in the internet you can't get into if you wait out the digital ID. Now, will you be able to wait it out? I don't know, because it's a bigger issue than just the internet, because it opens up the medical tyranny. It opens up the civil minutia, like your driver's license, your banking account. Everything will be your digital ID that you'll be, instead of signing into your computer every day, it's signing into everything with your digital ID, right? BCL, move. Yeah, move. Where to? I'm trying to think about that also. Where do you move? Where can you move to? Lasers, it won't be able to work. It's pure effing evil. Yes, but most of the things that are implemented are pure evil, right? You can never underestimate how evil and where these people will take things to. So that is how you either give it up, because you'll kind of be faced with this dilemma. Do I get the digital ID to get the Bitcoin out? Like, let's say there is an option, but you still got to get onto the internet. I don't know how you do that. Maybe a VPN of sorts with fake docs. Like that's how people got around the vaccine. They would just doctor some things. And so I was asking Grok about Deribit. It's like, do people get, because the Deribit's terms and conditions are like, if you get caught using a VPN or fake KYC, they take your Bitcoin. So as great as it would be to make covered calls on your Bitcoin collateral, just the fact that if you got caught and then they can hold it, like that's greasy. And it's never going to come to Canada, because Canada's, well, like I said, it's becoming more apparent to me. I said this a while ago, like we're in World War III and Canada is the bimbo monkey in the middle, It's just sitting there with her pink dress and her corsage, not knowing that the whole world's fighting over it. And like, well, fighting over Canada, who cares about Canada? The reason Canada is such a huge deal is that it's the fourth largest oil production and reserves, plus endless rare earth minerals, right? It's like a jewel in the Nile, jewel in the rough, diamond in the rough. But you just wouldn't know, because it's such a silly place. Like people are silly, and it's changed with immigration. It's not the same country, but it's still the underlying rare earth minerals are there. From gold, silver, uranium, trios, pancakes, potash, lithium, all those things. So having Canada, controlling Canada, it's not a want. In the geopolitical ring, gladiator ring, it's not a want. It's a need.
Make sure you like and subscribe.